Now joined by head coach Jonathan Norton and student athletes Bria Walker and Ashley Johnson from Columbus State. We'll give them an opening statement from Coach Norton and then take questions for the coach and student athletes. Coach Norton, whenever you're ready.
Give all the credit in the world to Francis Marion. They're playing well. They went back and forth there for the first really 2.5 quarters. At the end of the third quarter, they kind of got on a roll, and we had a lead. But we just couldn't get the ball to go in the hole. But I think a big part of that was their aggressive defense. They're very athletic. And then they beat us on the boards. And they had 17 offensive rebounds, and we just couldn't keep them off the glass. We didn't shoot it well. But I think I was talking to one of the Francis Marion folks. I give them all the credit. I congratulate them. They were in a first-class program. I know Coach Porter a little bit, and I know she's a great coach. But from what I've seen, she's an even better person than first-class lady. So congratulate them on a great year. Hope they continue to run.
Thank you, Coach Norton. We'll now open the floor for questions. Give us your name, media outlet, and who your question is for. Thank you.
Coach Chris Bergen, sports radio fan in Florence. Even though they didn't score a whole lot of points off of your mistakes, how big were the turnovers that you had? Maybe disruptive in terms of what you like to do on offense?
It was huge. We actually talked about that at halftime, how we just had so many turnovers and offensive. They got extra possessions, and I think at half they had 13 more field goal attempts, if I'm not mistaken, and we had a few more free throw attempts. But we used the stat that they've had 8 more opportunities to score the basketball than we had, and it's hard to overcome it, especially when you're not shooting the ball well. And they got more opportunities, so it's easier to put the ball in the hole if you can shoot it a little bit more than your opponent does.
Coach Mark Hazelden with the Morning News in Florence. Coach Porter also mentioned the offensive rebounding for them. Just how big of a difference was that in the game, you think? You talk about extra possessions.
Absolutely. I mean, they got 17 of them, and 4 of them were from a guard who's like could run under the table standing up. She's the smallest player on the court. But we're in the zone, and the zone had been good for us late down the stretch, and because of this one sitting beside me, Ashley Johnson, and then our other post, Ashley Zuzu, knowing it's dangerous for them to get in foul trouble, which they still got in, we felt like we had to stay with the zone, and we didn't think Francis Marion shot it that well from the perimeter. So, but that doesn't matter if they keep getting second and third opportunities, and that's what they did. And rebounding the zone is about effort and backside rebounding, and their athleticism just was tremendous to get those scores.
They certainly didn't shoot the ball from the outside as many times in the second half. I think they took 13 threes in the first half.
Right.
What was different about what they were doing in the second half, the way they attacked you?
She does a good job of, she adjusted, and instead of just a high-low or driving and kicking in the zone and shooting a 3, they went with a triple, almost with triple post offense. And they have a high-low and 2 in the short corners, and then they keep you swinging. And there's 3 around the paint that we're having to guard, and it's really difficult when one of those 3, number 5 Watts, their senior post, can step out and shoot the 3. She's the best shooter on their team, and they just kind of had us on the run, and that made our zone stretch out a little bit too much, and gave them driving lanes. But more importantly, or to our detriment, it gave them rebounding lanes.
Coach, I hate to sort of rub salt in the wound, but with your health scare earlier this year, first off, how are you doing? And secondly, how rewarding was this season, even though you don't get to the championship, but be able to guide your team to the semifinals?
Yeah, we discussed that in the locker room. And that's probably why a couple people aren't up here with us, because they're still real emotional about that. And I just told them, sorry I put them through that, because I got to take better care of myself. My assistants have had to fight that battle. We joke to try to, it's like being married to 4 people, because I have 3 female assistants who are all telling me to sit down and won't let me go to Dairy Queen and eat what I want. And the players are a part of that. Men's players protecting me from getting a cookie at the hotel when we're on double-header road trips. So it's a special thing to rally the troops, and that's what I told them. I just love them because they had my back. And they were more concerned about their coach than they were playing basketball, and that obviously makes you as a coach feel really good. And but then they were able to refocus and kind of regroup and come together, and we played really well. And this senior group, there's 4 of them that have only been here 2 years. Bria's 3 because she was a redshirt, but I mean they won 56 games, and they won 2 regular season championships. They won a tournament championship. They've got a lot to be proud of. And that's what I told them. It was a crazy year and scary, but they rallied around me, and we came together. And I'm most proud, Chris, about the relationships. That's what it really made us focus on. Is basketball's great, but it's about the student athlete experience, and they're all 4 going to graduate. One's already graduated, and I feel like we were more intentional about paying attention to those relationships and make sure they knew I cared about them more as a player than a person than a basketball player.
You look like you're feeling good. Is that true? How is your
I
health?
feel like crap right now. I'm lost, but yeah, everything is checked out fine. There's no heart issues. So that's an abnormal nerve issue is what I was told, and I told the doctor that's not the only thing abnormal about me, I'm sure. But everything is fine, and I've taken better care of myself, lost some weight, and just doing what I'm supposed to do as a husband, as a father, and a coach, and a father figure to these young ladies.
For the players, when you guys did get that 9-point lead early there in the second half, what changed at that point? Did they do something different? Did they up their energy at all, or did you guys falter in some way? Just either one or both?
Okay. I think for starters, we might have got a little complacent on defense, and not going after the loose balls or the rebounds. And we also got a little fatigued, and we have to push through that because it's tough to lose, but at the same time, we have to want it more than the other team. And I think down the stretch, we started looking at the clock and focusing more on the score, opposed to just going out there and getting it done.
I agree with Ashley. Overall, we weren't playing our game. I feel like we were playing to their speed. So we're more of a slow it down type team. They're fast, but that's about it.
Got time for one further question if anyone has anything. Okay, this will conclude Columbus State's press availability. Thank you very much.
Thank you.